Hey there, Chris, and all my wonderful buddies who have been talking to me about affiliating with my product and wanting to get some insight into what it is and what I'm doing with it. This is the automated webinar plugin for WordPress, and I'm just going to go through and show you some of the features. And I just also be aware that there are more features that are going to be added to it in the next week or so. So it's going to be continuously changing, and we're just adding a lot of things. There are larger actions that we're trying to use with this plugin, and we're kind of focused on those larger, bigger, cooler functions. The smaller functions are design and things like that we actually have already in place, but right now we're more concerned about functionality, like having some really cool things happen. So let me just go through. I'll go into it and start walking you through it. So here we are at a simple WordPress site, and as an admin, you'd go into your back office, and you can get this plugin just like any other plugin. You know, go into plugins, you can add a new plugin. There is no FTP with doing this. You just simply upload the plugin. You buy it. You know it's in the zip folder after you purchase it. You're going to have a unique licensing code that you are going to be putting in with it. We're not having it here because it's already been uploaded. So we're going to say browse, and I have another copy in the downloads. Actually, I think that's where it's at. So let's just scroll down. We would pop it in open, and you just install it that way, and that's really it. You can do that, or you can actually just FTP it if you'd like. You can go in and add the folder, but we've made this as simple as possible, where once you buy it, you get the license, you go in and you can just simply upload the zip folder right into a plugin, just like any other plugin, and you're good. So once you're done uploading and you've uploaded the plugin, you would go back into your plugins area, okay, and you would activate the plugin. Now, this one is the one that's working right now, the one that says deactivate. These two are deactivated at the moment. And so when you actually upload that, and you've already paid for it, it's in, here is where the webinar shows up, right here, under the Settings tab. Okay, you click on the webinar. Here you are at the webinar dashboard. And you can actually start going through and filling out the fields related to the webinar. The concept of this automated webinar is that it's very easy to use. We're not, like I said, you're not having to do any script. You don't have to upload any script to FTP anything. There might be a little bit of integration with the email, but that's it. And there's going to be also resources in the back office explaining every single step, because that's just how I roll. I want people to know exactly what they're doing, how to do it, and the support is going to be massive on this. There's not going to be someone left in the dark. Okay, so so the webinar topic, I'm going to put as, you know what, yeah. So let's put this how to make money with. That's what my page title is going to be, that how to make money with webinars. Webinar topic, secrets to using one of the best conversion tools available. Sorry, someone's calling. Presenter's name, Casey Felix Cat Zeman. Image. Now you have an option of putting an image or a video in your registration page, and by putting in, a video, you can actually say, "Hey guys, thanks. This is a webinar about blah 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 blah," and this is the squeeze page essentially. So I don't have to necessarily go into detail on how-tos and the best way to market, but I think I'm actually going to. I'm going to have some tutorials on this is what you should do for this, using this method. So in image, we're going to go with master images. Let's just go with no. I wonder what sexy lips look like. I don't know if I want to do that to somebody. Let's go with beard toasting. That's always a good way to go. And now this is the webinar description. This is your ad copy, okay? So this is where you would say something like, in 2010, webinars, okay, so like something like that, da-da-da. Today, what we're doing, da-da-da. Now with this, we're creating a conversion tool that's like any other, da-da-da-da-da. So it would be something like that. You could do, this is a WYSIWYG that, you know, pretty much, I like this particular WYSIWYG because you have font family and you can actually see the different fonts. I hate it when you can't actually see the fonts. It's all one font and they're assuming you remember what they look like. So I like Impact. Let's go for 4, okay? And bold that out, or not bold it out, I suppose, because it's already kind of bolded. And you can add images. It's very dynamic. You can add pretty much whatever you want here. Okay? Now, we're going to move on to the webinar scheduler setting. Now, a lot of this, just so you're aware, a lot of the text here might change. I'm going to optimize it. For instance, the webinar topic, I'll be perfectly frank with you. Secrets to using one of the best conversion tools. This is a subheader, so I probably will say, I'll put the webinar page title above it and say, you know, webinar page title header. And then webinar topic will be subheader, okay? Just so you're aware, those are some of the changes that are going to be occurring. These are really small things. But the bigger things are kind of the really awesome features. So, webinar scheduler setting. Now, this is where you're going to decide when and how often you want your webinar to play. And most of you guys know how to do this. You've seen Mike's product, and so you're kind of really knowledgeable about this stuff. You can choose every day, and you can choose specific days, and you just click underneath, and you can choose a month, a date, if you want something really specific, and drive traffic to it as a one-time webinar. You can certainly do that. There are also days in the week you can choose. So if I want to do a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday, I could do that. Oh, this is 1 day per week. I'm sorry. So this is a 1 day per week. You want to have it every Wednesday, you can do so. And or you can do all the days in the week if you wanted to, or select specific days in the week. So if I wanted to say have it on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I could do so. And so just so you know, some of the things that we're adding to this is if you do come to Tuesday, if you come to the webinar and you sign up on Tuesday when the webinar is in fact happening, well, that pushes you. You don't actually get signed up. You can't choose this particular day. It actually goes to the next day, okay, which is Thursday, Friday. Now, another feature that we're adding is when someone comes to the website, once they come, there's going to be a day break. There's going to be a day in between. So this day won't, say if they come on Monday, okay, and they sign up. Well, what we'll automatically have is Tuesday won't be available, okay, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will. So we'll actually have a 3-day sequence that is 1 day after that they're signing up. So they're signing up on Monday, there's a break. They can't sign up for Tuesday, they get a Wednesday, okay? And sorry there's typos in all of this, but this is being fixed. So that's another feature that we're adding to it. So now, let's say I want to do it every day, and I want to do it twice a day, or 3 times a day rather, and I want to do 6 a.m., 12 a.m., and 2 p.m. I could do that. By the way, you're going to be able to do this in the user's time zone. So when they come to the site, it's going to be in their time zone. Okay, so now we are at here is where we actually put the video in. The moment you can put a video link. So it could be a YouTube video, it can be a Amazon S3 video, anything with a video link. But, this is a big but, we are adding in a feature where you can actually upload from your machine directly into the plugin. So you can upload an MP4, okay, or a MOV, or an AVI, just a variety of different video formats, right into the actual platform here. And then what we can do is we have an API for Amazon S3, so you could just upload your credentials and you're good to go. Okay, it's almost like a Easy S3 or EVP in the way that all you have to do is just add in your credentials, and with Amazon, you'll be set. Also, there's an option here for hosting it ourselves. If you wanted us to host it for you, we're going to have an upsell to where we could host all the webinar videos as well to make it just so much easier, so you don't have to figure out how to link all this stuff together. But if you did want to use a video, like a YouTube video, you could. And we're also going to have one more feature that we're adding to it, where we can actually cover up the branded YouTube symbol in the corner. Okay, and we'll put your own branding over top of that. Okay, so now once that's in there, you click away from it. Okay, and now what it just did is it validated the link. It had to check the validation of the link, and it's valid link. And when you automatically do that, this stuff actually starts, these fields actually open up and start allowing, you can now populate those fields. So you have a couple things you can do here. If you wanted to redirect your URL once the video ends, you can do so. You can have it say go to whatever you want, like a sales page. But generally speaking, this is your sales page. This particular webinar is going to be having the if you're using the multiple delayed events call to action area, where you can actually add different delayed events within the video. So say you wanted to say buy now, you could have a buy now show up 2 minutes in and 15 seconds and end at 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Now, generally speaking, if it really depends on where your climax of the video is, or your webinar, where you're like, okay, now this is what it's going to cost you, and you can keep this open for as long as you want. Maybe it's like once you reveal how much it costs, you keep that buy now button all the way through. Okay, now you have some options here: add to cart, become a member, buy now, get started, get your copy, start trial. Well, let's just say buy now. But what we're also going to have is we're going to have a drop-down menu where we have really colorful, awesome buttons, buy now buttons, and just a variety of different buttons. They're going to have become a member, get started, all sorts of stuff for you. Okay, so this right here, the button link, is where this button goes. So maybe this button is going to go to your ClickBank purchase page. And once we have an affiliate system in here, you have affiliates that you're wanting to add. You can add, your affiliates can add their own affiliate links in here. Okay. So text to be displayed, and that this is going to be above the actual button. You can have saying this product won't last long. Okay, you can do something like that. Really, it's just whatever call to action you want to make at that point. Now, I said, when you choose 3 call to actions here, multiple delayed events, you have 3 sections, 1, 2, and then 3. Now, I'm going to just change this to 1 to kind of lessen the confusion. Okay, once you've done the delayed events, you can now go into the attendee list option. And you can have that disabled or enable it, and you can decide how many people you want to actually have in your webinar. If you want to only have 100 slots, the 101 person cannot sign up to it. Now, I mean, for an automated webinar, I would say maybe just keep this open. By default, it's going to have nothing there. But in order to have the list option, which allows you to add a list of attendees, you have to have this enabled. So you've probably seen this before. List of attendees can be, whoever is signed up. So they're going to be whoever is signed up. Also, if you want to add your list of attendees, you may do so. This would be obviously fabricated names, and there might be some moral issue there. I thought what I would do is, I thought long and hard about whether I should have this in here, and I decided I would have it. I'm not going to put judgment. If someone wants to use it, they can use it, but if they don't want to use it, they don't have to. Ray Liotta, Chris Farrell, Jimmy Kimball, John Madden, Texas guy, lady, person, Smith, Jones, and you can add as many as you want, Jones, Frank, etc., etc., etc. You can keep going all the way down the list. So we're going to move on now to chat box options. Okay, if you enable chat box, this will allow you to answer someone who's leaving you a question. So someone, while the webinar is going, can in real time leave a question to you, and you can direct that, forward that to your email. Okay, very easy. It makes it, obviously look like you are there answering questions. And you know what? I'd oftentimes advise that, because even though it is not a live webinar per se, I would recommend having some aspect of it that feels live and engaging. Okay, now it's going to feel engaging, but I'm not, morally people can choose what they want to do, but I would suggest, just to be really hands-on with your buyers, it's good to be available and accessible every and any second. So I would have the forwarding mail there, and here is where we actually start using the emails. Now you can use your own autoresponder if you want, and you would just put in your autoresponder HTML right there. Let's say I wanted to add it to this page. Anyway, you would know how to, you could put your Aweber copy, Aweber code here, okay? And then you can go back in and go into built-in notifications and then start creating and using our own notification system. Now this is why you should use both. You should put your autoresponder code in so you can collect the lead, but you should use our built-in notification system, because our built-in notification system will actually base it on the time that someone signed up, okay? For instance, we'll send out an email right after they sign up, but then we'll send it out 24 hours before the webinar starts, 3 hours before the webinar starts, and then 5 minutes before the webinar starts. Now, with Aweber or Infusionsoft, to gauge when you're going to send that before an event is difficult. You can say set it to, okay, I'm going to have my welcome message come right away, and then I'm going to have in a day have the next message come. But you're not going to know if this person signed up 2 days from the date that they landed on the registration page, or maybe 3 days away. Okay, so what this does is this actually sends it out at the right time. Okay, so I recommend you using our email built-in notification system. We're going to also allow for you to add more notifications. If you want to say add 10, you can. So obviously this is, you put your sender's name, Casey Zeman, because this is going to be what's in the subject of the actual email. The email address. Why don't you put the email address that people know to respond to you? So it's not Gmail is where this is going to go, or rather my chat box is going to go, but Casey Zeman at Casey Zeman Online is going to be what people see as my email. Okay, or it could be Casey at the automated. Oh, I can't spell right now. Webinar plugin.com. Okay, so subject, and what we're also going to have, guys, just so you know, is we're going to have shortcode. Okay, for first name. We're also going to have it for the webinar date. Okay, there's going to be webinar time. As I said, this is beta. These are actually not hard to implement. Putting in the shortcodes is easy. The difficult part of what we're actually doing is in the video upload. Okay, because what we're looking to do is just have the Amazon S3 API, where someone can just simply use our player and upload their MP4 directly to our template, our platform. Okay, that's the difficult part of it. Okay, so once you've created your sequence, you can also set and send out an email after the webinar is done. So you can send it out three hours later. Subject can be, thanks for joining us at the webinar. And this is also going to have some functionality. It's going to allow you to send different emails to different segments. So you can send it out to those that were at the webinar, those that weren't at the webinar, those who were at the webinar but didn't buy, and those who were at the webinar who bought. Okay, this is some of the functionality it's going to be having. You can have the replay, say, here is the replay for the video, okay? And then you have the video link right here. And there's going to be default stuff here, so your default link will show up down here. We're going to have default email messages that are going to have the link to what you're needing. Okay, the actual registration page, etc., etc. Okay, so we save that and preview it. If you don't fill in certain things, it's going to tell you. So if you didn't fill in the subject or message, it's going to let you know. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to have default messages in there, so you're not going to have an issue with that. So, but for the beta testing, you'd have to fill it all in and then save and preview. And once you do, you can actually go in and see all webinars right here, okay? And it's going to have a list of the webinar that you just created. So this is the one we just created, okay? And we have, and I want to describe what you're looking at here. This is all webinars, okay? And you can have countless webinars going at many different times all at once if you'd like. So this one, registration page, is going to be where they register, okay? So let's just click on that, see what that looks like. Now, I didn't mention this before, but I said something about it. You can choose your time zone. So as the person coming to the site, I can choose what time zone I want. So if I am from Los Angeles, I would choose Los Angeles and save it, okay? And this is the registration page. Now, there are still some bugs we're getting out. There's a little text, funky text right here. This is where a video would go, all right? And you can select the time that you want. So if you want 11 a.m. on the next available webinar, which is 16th of August, you can do so. Now you can also change your time zone. You can change it to Hawaii, save your time zone, and then your time zone is saved so that you will get this email in your time zone, okay? So what it's actually doing right now is it's going, and depending on what you've put in, it's going to go and show the very next day of the next webinar, okay? So it's only giving you one day to choose from, which is the next webinar that's going to be occurring, okay? And this is 2 days later. So, and most of them are always going to be like this, just so you know. But I want to let you know we're changing this to where it's going to have a break, and then it's going to have 3 options. So if you come to the webinar on the 8th, the first one is going to give you an option for the 10th, then there's going to be the 11th, and then say the 13th, okay? And you can choose your time. You can choose, and this is also going to change. Right now it's in 24-hour time, military time. This is 1 o'clock, and you put your name, you register with your name, and your email at gmail.com. We can also add some stuff here. We can add your text and you put your phone number in here for texts, and you can also ask questions if you'd like and have them in there. Whatever you want to do with your actual form, you can. Then they register, and once you register, you're sent to the thank you page. Okay. And I tested this out, and you will get emails, as you can see here. Here are the emails that I tested this out. Glad you signed up for the webinar scheduled on webinar date and webinar time. So the emails do link up, okay, just so you're aware. And so let's just go back, and now I want to show you the login page. The login page, you would send the link on the email with the login page information so that someone will log in. So they can go into the login page either before the actual webinar starts, right before, or maybe a day before, because once they do, you'd put your name in and you put your email, and I don't know if I signed up for this webinar. No, I didn't. So they'd probably they're redirecting me back to the sign up page because I never signed up for it. So I'd have to go 1 o'clock, Casey, and just put Casey, I think. CaseyZeman@gmail.com. Register now. You've already registered. Oh, okay. All right, I already have. So, which is great. They can actually tell you've already registered for a specific time. So maybe I want to go with a different time now. So I can. I have thank you. And now I know where that is. That was the August webinar. So now I can go to the login page and I can put Casey and CaseyZeman@gmail. And now it'll give me a countdown timer of when the actual webinar will start up. So that's pretty much how the cycle works. You are sent to the you have the registration page. You are sent then to the login page. You log in, and then you're given a timer. And this timer is the same URL as the actual video, the actual webinar event page. So let's go in and look at the actual video page, okay, or the webinar event page. And this is the webinar event page, as you can see right here. Now, this says presenters, but I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't mean presenters. I have to change this around as well. This is actually attendees, okay, attendance list. Here's the submit your questions, and then of course here is the webinar. And I can't click on here to do anything to change this around, well, except here I can click on the watch on YouTube. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting an overlay here to block that, and you're going to be able to put your own branding over it to block the YouTube, okay? So now what also happens is in this there are those call to action buttons that will occur. They'll show up, or you can and as I said, you can also put your questions in here. And let me go into another one to show you that. I believe that, let's see, delayed. Here we go. So this one will probably have some that will show you what I mean. What's this sound like? People can click on, they can't. And as you can see, here it is. This is the first delay event. Become a member. Now, that delayed event is that's not going to necessarily look like that. That's a pretty, not design base is not awesome, and these are going to be awesome. Okay, so there's different things we're tweaking. As I said, this is totally beta phase right now, but we're almost there, and we've gotten pretty close. So the other thing I wanted to show you was after the webinar. This is going to be the replay, okay? The replay will just be like this. But in the replay, we are going to be able to have a Buy Now button show up in the replay, okay? So you still can have that functionality and that click-through happening on the replay. All right? Okay, so now let's see if I have anything else I needed to go through. One more thing I wanted to tell you is that in this, you're going to be able to actually edit each and every webinar that you've created. Okay, so say you wanted to add a different video to an existing registered webinar that you have. Like say you want to add a better video to the actual page. Well, right here, this webinar name is going to be clickable, and you can go in and click it, and it will say, it'll allow you to edit the previous settings, and it will actually archive the old settings for you. Okay, So that's some of the things that are going to be going on with this plugin. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It's going to have way more features. And just so you're aware, there's also going to be a Facebook plugin feature where you can actually create a registration page. You can create a webinar login page and the actual webinar page in Facebook. We're going to be using iframe engine. We're going to be using David Foster. I've talked to him before. This is me knocking on wood that he's going to let me do this. Use his platform to be able to. All someone has to do is put in their Facebook name, and they can then add a tab directly into their Facebook. And the tab can be their webinar tab. It can have, most recent webinar. What we're also creating is a widget that can go on the front of your website. Okay, so if you have a WordPress site and you want, let's pause that out. If you want to have a widget, you can have a widget right here saying, "Sign up for the webinars," and it'll give you some options. Okay, that widget can actually go on a page that you create that we'll have templates for into your Facebook. Okay, and just so you're also aware, we're going to have different templates in here as well. So you're going to be able to change the CSS, and it doesn't have to always be blue. We're going to have different colors you can change. We're going to have, you can put in your own banner up here. We're also going to have just a variety of other templates as well. Okay, layouts, really where we have, like, you can have a layout that has a full video page right here, where it's a much larger video on the video page. And this can all be customized. All of it is customizable, and it's, as I said, just in the beta phase right now, but the functionality of it works like we want it to work. It's easy to use. It's not, say, at this moment, not as, say, advanced as Mike Filsame's product, but it has the potential to get that. The analytics is not difficult to put in. We're actually trying to add some things that Mike's product doesn't have, and we're also trying to do it to where this can kind of go much faster, in terms of a process. I will also have, as I said, have tutorials about how to use WordPress and how to really make it a very simple process, okay? And how to use the tool as a conversion tool, and how to feel your audience out, how to make the best video as that live webinar. Because as you know, like, my thing is video, and it's also recognizing how to keep a video audience. As I said, the first 5 seconds needs to really grab someone's attention. So the video, which is a webinar, needs to have that same flavor to it, the same flair, the same interest and intrigue. So that's the other thing. It's going to be also tutorial stuff on that will be available in the back office. So, all right, I won't take up any of your time, more of your time. This video is getting a little long. What time? Yeah, so it's a 40-minute video, and I apologize, but it was just showing all the different stuff it has, and now I'm noticing more typos everywhere. But just so you know, that these are things that are all going to be fixed and changed in the next week or two. So this thing is ready to go. We're thinking to sell it at $197, which is less than Filsame's product. It's kind of a lighter version of Mike Filsame's, and rightly so, because it's also $300 less than Mike's product. Although it has the functionality of it's very easy, no FTP, that type of thing. So, all right, I'll let you go. I hope this explains things. Why don't you give me a call? I'm sorry this is so long, but give me a call if you have any questions, and I will have this out to you so you can test it out yourself and tell me what's happening with it, how's it working. So I'll give you your own licensing so you have that ability. Okay? Thanks again, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.